Hello. Something I really enjoy in the summertime. I enjoy this all the time, but if you want to learn how to make Southern sweet tea, I'm about to show you. I use Louisiana, and this is decaffeinated tea. That way I can drink it at night and not be all jacked up and not be able to go to sleep. And this is my sugar. So it's not hard to do. Let's go ahead and get started. I use a big pot like this one here. And let's cut the oven on. Alright, I have the oven on high. And so what I like to do, I like to let the tea cook at a low temperature, but for a while. Does that make sense? Let it cook for a long time. So let's see here. I've got the eye going, so I've got to get some water in there. It's going to overheat. I use these bottles because it measures it out perfectly. I'm going to put 3 of these bottles in. Perfectly for my pitcher. Alright, so I've got the water in there, the pan's not going to overheat, and now we need to get the tea bags in. Alright. So with these tea bags, I like to use Louisiana, like I said. You may have your preference. I have a couple extra in here. What I do is I take and I hold on to this green tab and drop down the tea bag. It's going to naturally come tied up if you get this brand. And there's a little tab here. You see that? Boop, just pop that off. Alright, so now I have 2 dangling, 3, and let's pop 4 open. So the trick to good Southern sweet tea is, like I said, to let it cook at a slow temperature for a long time and to make sure that the actual tea is really strong in flavor, not just sugar. Sugar is important also, but you want to make sure that the tea flavor itself is really strong. So what I'm doing is I'm just tea bagging right now, and I'm getting the water, all saturated. I'm getting the tea bag saturated with water. Otherwise, they would float on top. You see how I keep holding them? I don't let them go. I'm in control of these tea bags. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to lay it to the side real quick. I want this to be real strong. I want this to be super strong tea, so I'm going to do a total of 6 tea bags. That may seem excessive to some people, but I love that strong tea flavor. So, I'll show you what it does whenever you just drop the tea in there. You see how it wants to float on top of the water? So you just pick it up and drop it down. Just doing a little tea bag action, and there we go. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tea bags. And what I'm going to do is take and use the lid to hold these in place. Did you see what I did there? I don't know, you can't see it. Let me move this over. So I'm still holding on to these, and I'm just using this lid as a way to control where the strings are. So now I can let these go. They're all connected here on the side, they're all in one spot. So whenever I need to remove these, if you let these go, some people will take these tags off and just let the strings go down in there. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, I guess, but at the end of the day, you got to chase these tea bags around with a spoon and try to get them out, or try to keep them from coming out in your pitcher, whatever you use. And so I just like to keep these tabs on, and I use this lid as a tool to keep these strings exactly where I want it. If I'm not happy with the level of water in there, I'm going to add 1 more bottle. The key is to use a total of 6, but here's what I've been doing lately. Instead of putting all 6 in here and letting them get boiling hot, I take and put 3 or 4, whatever feels good. Now that I see that 3 is not enough, I'm going to make 4 the science. And then I have 2 waters I'm going to stick in the freezer and get them ice cold. So when this is done, I'm going to put this in the sugar, mix it up, stir it all up. It's going to melt. But then that ice cold water is going to help bring the temperature down, because the tea takes a long time to cool down. In order to enjoy it and get it ice cold, you're going to have to let it cool down for an hour or 2. Alright, so we have our tea bags in there. Alright, so we already have 3 bottles in there. I'm going to go ahead and put the 4th in there. So grab so you can see, grab these, then remove the lid, set the lid to the side, and now add your additional water. Look at that water already changing colors, man. It's a beautiful beautiful processes, beautiful color. And that's why I know 6 bags, I mean, it seems like an excessive amount, but the flavor of the tea is going to be on point. The coloration of the tea, greatly important. You go to McDonald's, I mean, their tea is pretty good, I'm not going to lie, but it's mostly sugar. Just straight up sugar is all you taste. I want that rich tea flavor. And, I mean, Bojangles, I don't know if you have Bojangles. Their tea is pretty good. Loaded with caffeine, though. You drink one of those at 7 o'clock and you'll be wide awake. Alright, so now I have all my tea bags kind of mixed around. The key is to just be patient and let's get our tea bags right. So I'm still holding on to these green tabs. And I'm going to grab the lid. Alright, so I just set it and let the string hang out the side, so we're in control. We're in control of these tabs. We're going to let the tabs dangle. Okay, perfect. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. If not. Alright, there we go. That's probably better. So, another crucial part of the tea, now that we have our tea bags and our tea going, I have it on high to get it caught up. But once it catches up, or once it starts to boil, I'm going to want to cut this down to about maybe 3 or 4. And it's going to cook for a while. I'm probably going to let it cook for, like 30 minutes or something like that. So, let's see here. What I'm going to do, since I'm not going to be able to show you, I'll show you, I don't know how this works. Give me 1 second. I'm working on getting a laptop. I need a laptop so that I can just combine some videos, but using on my phone, I haven't figured out how to combine them. I just kind of have to take one long video or do 2 separate ones. So this is the tea pitcher. I keep it in the freezer. I know you're going to think that's crazy. Right after I rinse it out or wash it. Some people don't believe in washing your tea pitcher. You're supposed to only make tea in this. Don't do anything else. Just make tea and it'll have that good tea flavor. You won't ruin it. Because it's almost like the sides absorb some of the flavor. But if you wash it with soap, it's easy to get the soap stuck in this plastic. When you make tea, you'll have that nasty soap taste in your tea. You don't want that at all. And they make the soap where it sticks to the side. I rinsed it several times. Anyways, I've got this out now. And so what I'm going to do is show you the ratio of sugar that I use. So here's our tea pitcher, and I have this little scooper in my sugar, and this scooper is 1/4, it says 1/4 cup. So I'll get this all the way, well, I'll do like what we call a heaping teaspoon, but this isn't a teaspoon, it's like a heaping serving. I'm going to put this whole thing in there, so that's 1, 2, make sure it's a heaping, because otherwise you will have to do an extra one. So 3, and 1 more. Let's do 1 more. I do 4. And see, the crucial thing about tea is a lot of people underestimate what's going to happen overnight. Tea is really best the next day, 24 hours after you make it. And so I've got my sugar here at the bottom. And what I'm going to do until this is ready, I'm going to take and stick this back in the freezer. That may sound crazy, but that's what I do to keep it cold. I like it to stay as cold as possible. Alright, so our tea is cooking. It's going to take a little while for the tea to cook. But I'll let you have one last look. Raise the lid. Look at that. It's already starting to turn that beautiful dark brown color that you want your tea to be consistently the same. Then you kind of have to follow these rules, if that makes sense. Some people go ahead and take this out now and be done with it, is what I'm saying, and that might work for you. You can just use a lot of tea bags and get the same quality of what you would do for 3. I don't know how to say that. You could use 3 and do it my way and get the same amount of flavor as you could use 6 right now and just do it half till. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it my way, obviously, because this is me in my house. And so here we go. We're going to let this tea cook. And keep in mind, we have 4 bottles of water in there. We still have 2 bottles that need to go in, but we're going to do that at the end. Alright, so let me put you back here. Let's get the lid. We have the lid on. And I told you I had it on high. I do. I'm not going to lie to you, baby. Let's see here. Alright, cut down from high. I'm going to cut it down to 3. I still have my corn cooking over here. That's something else. But yeah, right here is our tea, and it's going to be done before our food is. But I'm going to let that cook for about 30 minutes like that, 20 or 30 minutes. All right, and I'll be back.